Hex
My pet
Mambo,
goose, Larry. Thank you so much for the prime, man.
Where the dodge
Welcome.
just
Thank
not
you.
Been allowed to be played by Johnny specifically.
Can you guys tell how happy I am that I'm watching Smite and not playing it?
You don't get that one.
What a
Falls
difference,
at the
huh?
Same exact 100% win rate. And the Daji will maintain a 100% win rate as well against Hex Mambo. With the Naja Fog.
But if I was playing it right now, I'd be like, they're at my purple again. Oh, I'm going to play Tarkov.
Yeah, that Hebo is
A whiny baby.
through, though. Maybe the Oni Warriors are trying to bait that pick, saying, hey, he's going to play some more early. However, that Maui is something that a lot of these supports have been fighting for. Does give you some great early pressure, some late game engage. It makes your sieges a lot easier when you can just use that landfall ultimate to yoink half the team out from underneath their Phoenix.
My favorite dish or Asian
That's
cuisine?
going to be a bad first pick.
I don't know, honestly.
Going to answer back.
Great album.
Themselves to CERN. Definitely the best.
Maybe crab rangoon.
That's open on the tier list with that Ishtar being banned away.
Yep. Great 1-2 punch here from Hex Mambo, CERN plus Ama. And you know, Deathwalker's Amaterasu is so strong. It's been talked about plenty. For good reason. Controls the lane, controls team fights. It's been a fun battle over in the solo lane. Deathwalker versus Nika.
The ump? Yeah, the ump is the great equalizer.
Jungle has really started to take off here as well. Maui plus Cupid, that's become a very popular pairing over in the duo lane. 100% win rate for Cupid so far this weekend in the 2 games that have been played. Oni Warriors not revealing too much here, Trelly, with their first 3. Maui, Cupid, Ag.
All right, let's do the vote.
Pretty well-rounded.
We'll give you guys 5 minutes.
Early composition.
Yep, 2 characters that do some good damage, have that good space.
That way you can either vote now or wait till at the end of the draft.
No CC immunity in those 2 characters, so it does open you up to beads burning compositions. The Amaterasu and the Cerno certainly can
vote.
But the question
Yo,
is,
man,
utilizing the Chronos,
Thank you so much.
which is usually what's been picked in this slot. Right before second wave of bans, grab Zeros on his comfort pick.
Oh man, how's your
You're gonna
weekend?
feel fine. Or do you want to look towards something that can really benefit from the fact that Agni and Cupid only get 1 pair of beads, and they could be targeted. You know, the Ares, for example, for Drix Tank, that could be aggressive, or the Hun Bats for Johnny. Not things that they've went to.
Long
But it looks
game.
like switching off the Chronos finally, not even banned away. Zeros did it on his own accord.
Baba,
And he's gonna be
yeah,
over the
yeah.
Baba. I like this pick so much better. I can't even begin to explain how much I love the Baba. Into matchups like this, you just free farm the same style of way, but you can come online a lot easier. You still have a lot more safety, and your late game damage just as high.
And Baba Yaga for Zeros won in Game 3 up against the Solar Scarabs earlier on this weekend.
Holy fuck, dude, I can't stop eating Pringles. I'm just such a
So, both teams still needing a
weak, mentally
jungler.
weak.
Thor's been now banned out against Cuvo Fred. And Cuvo's had a handful of different picks. Naja's been the overwhelming popular pick, but Pele, as we've seen, Hunbats, also
What the heck,
something
stupid
that
phone?
Fred will go to a couple of times.
Waited too long to vote? You still have time. I put 5 minutes.
Eating a couple of bans here. Mercury's still around if that's something Johnny feels like he wants to run back. And still some
It's
good
closed?
options for Cuvo Fred as well.
Okay, I'm gonna refund everyone's
There's
points.
just
No, we'll do it again. We'll
moving
do it
threat
again.
of What Nika might
My bad,
get out
guys.
of the solo lane. I mean, you take away a lot with the
My bad.
Hades.
Let's do it again.
But that's really
I return
about
your
it
points.
here. And then, of course, the Amaterasu can't get played. So Nika's really going to have his pick of the litter.
Go ahead, 5 minutes.
But neither Johnny nor Cuvo Fred will with all the jungle bans.
Yeah, I definitely
Do it again, baby. Take your points back.
I guess just something that the Oni Warriors didn't want to see Johnny on. I still think that Hunbats would be a very solid grab here, but if Johnny's not in the mood to play,
Just pick the
Merc.
pick the Mercury, Johnny.
I agree.
The Merc was good. Merc Ama. They
love
love this Merc Ama, dude. Just do it.
On, where he was just kind of ignoring the team fights.
Do it, boys.
Running away from the Oni
Pick the
Warriors.
Merc. I know they're gonna pick Merc.
Just trying to
100%
get level
Merc.
20. It can work, but not when the Warriors have a lead like that. They're really fast tracking the game. So in this situation, towards the Merc.
I mean,
you
Loki's
gotta
good
make
into
sure
Aggie.
you're stepping on the gas at least a little bit, right? At least forcing some early ganks. Duo lane's a great place to find that. Once again, Cupid only get 1 pair of beads. If you find those sonic booms in the long lane, you can definitely look to try and get the Cernanos ahead. But I think Johnny's got a very diverse god pool. We still haven't seen his Loki yet this tournament, and he loves to go to that as well.
Is Loki in a good enough spot?
When he racks on Oni,
sheesh. Loki gets a boost.
Yeah, I think just because it's Johnny's Loki, I wouldn't mind it. If Cuvo picked Loki, no, I would say, wait, why is he picking Loki? He's got better gods. But Johnny's played it when it was bad. He's played it when it's good. And at the moment, it's kind of meh, and he's
That's your
still
Mercury.
able to perform on it. So wouldn't hate it. I just think that, you know, anything that can burn beads, and Sobek can do that pretty well.
Sobek can do that very
He's
well.
picking
Did
Mercury.
not win in game 1, but still was able to create pressure and output decent amount of damage for Hex Mambo and Trix Tank specifically. Kleena did not come to mind, but maybe should have. It's a very strong pick.
Kleena.
Later on, shred damage is definitely there. So
Actually, might be Loki now.
Achilles, Trelly.
Loki shits on Kleena.
Finish off the draft for the Oni Warriors. Talk to me about the first tier. Kleena saw
way.
a decent bit of play upon release. Where do you think Kleena stands now?
In this case, I'm thinking if it's Nika taking the Kleena, which I've seen him play many times back
yeah, I
when
guess
she
there
was
could be.
she was much stronger in the soul lane when she released, and Nika
Baba
left
hasn't been strong this
then,
weekend, yo.
took some nerfs. You can't really build the
There it is.
hybrid Kleena anymore and still one-shot carries. Like, you actually have to commit to
I'm a
the
merc,
full
they love that
damage route,
shit.
Against an Amaterasu, not your best option. So I'm going to say if it's Qvo and Kleena in the jungle, that's a much better time, right? You can immune a lot of damage inside the wall. During Fire Giant sieges, that can be an absolute nightmare. You just, you know, Kleena's literally hiding from you inside the walls. You can't immune her damage. She's just going to be spamming abilities, that sort of thing. Her early pressure isn't the greatest, but you're not too worried about a Mercury either, so you're just trying to get your stacking items online. I like the Achilles as well. It's a good matchup into the Baba Yaga. She can't pop Aegis in the house, and she has some shielding, but shielding doesn't really defend against Execute. So if she gets low and goes into that house, you can always just send the Achilles, try to get her to that % threshold, and execute her before she gets her damage off.
Now, when I think of the way Nika likes to play Smite, you know, Achilles really comes to mind. I think it's such a good player-god combination. We've seen plenty of great Achilles games in the
Who'd you vote for, Ronnie?
Nika's been playing it. It ends up being the Mercury, though, on the other side for Hex Mambo. That'll finish off the draft. And Trelly, Mercury is not yet won this weekend for anyone, but Hex Mambo's the only team who's played it. Game 1 against the Solar Scarabs went 4-2-5. That was a loss on Mercury. And then game 1 in this set against the Oni Warriors goes 1-3-1. Felt like we might end up seeing the Mercury come out. Some good options, some good lanes.
Mentally, I'm all in on Mambo this game.
With all that was available, though, does the Mercury still make sense?
I actually think the Mercury makes a lot more sense in this game than it has in previous because of the matchup with Cupid, right? You can just say, hey, is Vote up about halfway through the lane? Okay, I'm sending it. I'm ulting down the lane. I'll get his beat.
Yeah, Sobek?
I'll come
Exactly.
back in a couple seconds, and I'm going to do it again.
Take
That
notes on
does
this
leave
game,
you some
huh?
opportunities to get online. If Johnny plays the PvE style where he's similar to Loki, where he's just running to farm and not helping out his team, then the Mercury loses a bit of value for me unless you're hard carrying away and just absolutely popping off. Last time it didn't work. He did ignore his team and get farm, but they weren't able to translate that into anything. I'm thinking Johnny knows, hey, you guys need my help. I'm going to be trying to get active on the Mercury this time.
Yeah, and game 1 is what you're referencing where
This Subba's gonna
felt
shit
like
on this
Mercury
Cleo
ended up
so
just
hard.
really getting to farming up the back cams, trying to hit some of those power spikes while the Oni Warriors were really just running down.
Guys, I need help.
The rest of the
I
map.
can't stop eating my
So
Pringles.
we're hoping if we're Hex Mambo that it's able to get a bit more active and have more of an influence on the game. Now, it's still Baba Yaga out of mid-Trelly, but if you're getting active, you're talking about maybe an easier time for Zeros to get spun up over in the mid lane. Tiebreaker, game number 3, Hex Mambo, Oni Warriors. This is a big one, and Hindu Man and Mifflin will take you through it.
Yes,
Oh.
we will. Game 3 in a best of 5. One of my favorites, Mifflin.
The more,
because this one
I have
generally
more.
gives you the idea who's going to win.
Wow.
Yep,
That's
what I
insightful.
bring.
10 years, huh? You've been at
9.
this.
Season 9, dude. It's not
No,
season
Ronnie,
10
you make
yet.
me.
You weren't preseason.
No,
Oh.
Ah! I broke my Pringle.
Dinosaurs for a while there.
I was. There's plenty of dinosaurs around. I am one now. Speaking of dinosaurs, Trix Tank back at the Sobek. See that transition? I'm so good at this.
Okay, yeah.
What's up?
I mean, I was just thinking that, you know, Sobek isn't a dinosaur, more of a reptile.
Continue.
I mean, that's it, really.
Okay, good job. Neil looking for a bit of a cheeky invade and a bit of drama here in the jungle. He does have that leap available, which is very, very useful at getting a bit of CC off and stealing away. Plus, his clear is fantastic with the AoE. I think Neil's still going to go for the purple invade here. But it's going to give Trick some help, is what I'm expecting, as we check this one out between the two. Will the Hog come out?
He's just trying to deny ADC farm, right?
Yeah, which is what it does.
As long as it gets cleared
But look at
before he
where
sees here.
Echrome is. right behind it, gets the experience. Echrome loses out on nothing. And now Neilmar,
Oh no.
maybe under a bit of pressure, will be able to escape with the leap for the time
Oh,
being.
Tricks played that
But this puts
perfectly.
him at a deficit in lane, and I'll be honest with you, knowing Maui, he doesn't need to do that. He can get lane pressure real easy by doing the standard clear. But this is going to give Echrome and Tricks a bit of an advantage.
True, he didn't have to hog. If he did the math,
Should still be.
If he did the math, Neil could have done one more auto, and he could have auto to secure.
But
True.
I think you lose a lot of pressure by doing that if it goes wrong, which is exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Hex Mambo,
Bro.
I don't think Sobek's like the best at pushing pressure. If you play around your wave properly,
You reckon?
it's pretty difficult to actually
That
play
level
around
2
that block.
pluck?
Level 2 pluck's like okay, but level 2 CERN.
Well, you're right, Ronnie.
Up for vote. Leap's already there for Neil. I don't really see it affecting the kills too much. We'll see. I think the trickle down.
Neil didn't get a
effect
single
around
ounce of
Hex
XP
Mambo
though.
Well,
If Hex Mambo keep it, they could just like.
Cupid's not good at clearing, so
Echrome
and Trick should have the pressure.
Go in the way of the Agni alongside the cleaner.
His Maui can't bully like he usually does, being level 1.
Talking about the option of it, seen that on Nika this game because Nika's gone to it quite a few times. Instead, it's on Cubo Fred at the moment.
Sobek low-key punishes the Maui jumping in a lot.
Wave clear going and keep the pressure rolling at the moment. Takes a bit of time for both those carries in the mid lane to just start to hit a couple
Oh,
levels.
Chaddix, what's up, baby? Now it's a party.
Clear the wave safely.
Already a better start for Cubo Fred.
Ooh, these sprinkles are hot.
Early slight experience advantage. It was
Yeah.
actually 9 minutes into the game, I believe, in game 2 before Cubo Fred made
Ooh,
contact.
Johnny could be under pressure. Great dash from Dardis after the stun too.
Chase.
But Johnny split the difference.
Chase.
Chose a different option. Why Chase though?
You might be able to kill
It's
him
called
with the
scorching
second ability.
barbecue.
If he did,
No, he didn't.
Ooh.
He said dash a minute ago.
well, no, not Johnny. I'm Cubo
Oh,
Fred.
Cubo.
Yeah, you get additional movement speed from that one.
Gotcha.
At least able to chase out, steal away some of these back camps.
Well, there's one. Now the fight continues. One exchange. Johnny falls back to a tier 2 again.
Blue buff.
Blue buff does respawn, and look at the map position there. You can see exactly where Deathwalker is now. He's trying to invade the other blue buff at the same time. Johnny, it looks like he secured that camp, and
Yep.
Kivo's like, you know what? I'm gonna sit in the wall for a bit, boys. I don't
Look
care."
how talented
He'll
Johnny
go
is, bro. He
behind
knows
tier
where the
tier
1
2
is.
tower, probably recall, I'm guessing, unless he gets caught there. Left-hand side, so a bit of an invade coming through from Trickstand, looking at the red buff. Won't be successful this time round.
I'm surprised Johnny doesn't decide to chase that one out either. It's the only place he could have gone, Cubo Fred that is, and actually escape. Special delivery around the corner. I mean, you can catch him out. A rotation.
Guys, here's the game plan for Wednesday.
Kept things
Team,
interesting there, but
But look at the pressure in dual lane for Hex Mambo.
Everyone's drinking at the airport. We probably all have different flights, and then we're drinking on the plane, and then when we land, we're drinking.
exactly what you were talking about. That pressure finally started.
Some more.
I guess you have been
I said
doing it for a
continue.
while.
I said
And
continue.
then going out to
got
eat.
it. And Trick's like now got level 4.
That's the game
It's
plan.
gonna be a hard comeback for the Oni Warriors. Cupid's got some inherent safety, Fields of Love. We talk about how good it is at forcing relics from the opposition.
I want us all
At least you
fucking
should
wasted
feel
the
out for
whole
yourself in some of
day
these more
and
precarious
night
situations,
on Wednesday.
so
Okay.
I'm not overly concerned.
Also, you
It's
can't
still
buy
an
alcohol
improvement
on
from
Sunday
game 2 start.
in
Well,
Texas, so we got to
it's
stock
certainly
up on
better.
resources.
One attention I want to turn to is back to the solo lane, because both these two big influential players, I don't think they've had a big set so far either of them for the most part. But how do you feel about this matchup? Because I was going to say, how does this go? It's looking like it goes Achilles' way.
Achilles just has so much
Oh, really?
potential.
Not before
Deathwalker
noon?
very
Oh, okay.
Middle. If he wants to deal damage in return, it's generally the second and third ability used in conjunction. And you're not
Can't
exactly
drink-
clearing the wave if you
can't be
use
drunk
all
at
on
church?
Nika. Whereas Nika could just
I'm
combo
drunk off that
over and
Jesus
over
wine
and
at
over
church,
and over at the
baby.
exact same time.
Pastor,
While
give me another
simultaneously
sip.
healing and a bit more solo potential thanks to that execute. So Achilles should get the better end of this one throughout the early, but both are very susceptible to ganks. Because
Give me
of
an
the
extra
itemization.
sip. I want the blood of
Slot
Christ.
Boosts both their clears, boosts both their damage. Doesn't really help you out too much when Johnny or Cubo
Pour that shit down my throat, all of it.
Blue buff spawning and Nika here in tow. Deathwalker did just come back from base with a teleport and does have his item online now to match that of Nika as blue buff looked at. Johnny thinking about the sonic boom
yeah.
here, but he won't be there in time to secure the blue. Nika has it wrapped around his wrist.
So pick up this blue. Deathwalker's been absent from the last couple of
Forgive me,
defenses.
Father,
Surprised
for I
that
have
he's willing to dedicate
sinned.
so much time when his soul laner
Doesn't
doesn't
care.
seem to be concerned, right? I mean, speaking from experience, defending blue buff, one of my least favorite things to do as a jungler. It is so frustrating.
I want to say the two least favorite things that junglers want to do is
Momo,
defend blue
thanks for
buffs
getting
and
another
damage
sub,
duel.
baby.
Well, ganking dual lane's okay. I mean, you don't want to do it, but if you get a kill, you feel all right about doing it.
But
I
if you
never
don't-
feel good about a blue buff defense.
Never.
I'm like, oh, you got more mana. Good for you.
Get pressure, noob. That's kind of it's your own
Essentially.
fault, right?
Yeah.
It's the jungler's fault for the lack of pressure in the jungle is why the blue buffs.
I swear to drunk, I'm not God.
No?
No, because Nika was there Deathwalker wasn't. So it's obviously not jungle pressure because both junglers were there.
You hope that's going to work with me? It's not.
But that's what happened.
Okay. Johnny doing his back camp, so Great Scorpion down for the only Warriors.
Double
here.
Golden
The
Blade, bro.
Golden
These
Blade
guys going to be hyper farming.
No real surprise at 5 minutes in.
Got you,
I mean,
Blackbearded.
with the style
Thank
of
you.
composition, though,
I'll
it's
look it up.
a little bit more even, I want to say, in terms of fight potential as the Sonic Boom came through from Johnny.
Oh my
He
god.
avoided it,
That was
but he
max
got the
range
follow
dash. Bro,
damage from Johnny.
Merc Ama is sick.
Mambo
They got double
first
golden, but they're
kill.
going to be farming the map all
Johnny's
game.
just
That's
the
their
homie
plan.
For Deathwalker.
Movement
Confirmed
speed,
the blue
and
buff
he can just be
swarm,
farming
defending on
everything.
his own, now rotating through and turning the lane on its head as well.
See, this is why you're not a pro anymore.
Golden Blade
system
Achilles?
drink.
Yeah.
No,
Gank for you solo.
I've already been
Double
killed
fist and
twice,
drinks, yes, sir.
unfortunately, and I can't play Mercury. So Johnny very much so deserves his spot here, and I deserve my
Bro,
spot.
when I get my drink at the airport, I'm going to tweet at you guys with a
Yeah.
picture.
Johnny, meanwhile, though,
And you
I
can tweet
do
back
wanna
at me
say,
with a
though,
picture.
like,
That'd be fun.
one of the European junglers that have been rated highly for a very, very long time. And going up against Cuvo Fred, who, outside of probably adapting, has the most lustrous career in the jungle as well. And Johnny,
Depends how early I
today,
get there.
Game 1 kind of struggled a little bit, but was that really his fault or more the team?
If I'm there
Against
like
the
at
game 2,
1 o'clock, I think my
definitely
flight's at
popped off
3
on
or
Evo.
something.
Game 3,
Or 1, I'll
back
probably
to
get
the
like
Mercury again, but with a slightly different composition where he's not necessarily babysitting as much.
Bloody
across.
Mary or something.
No, Baba
Some kind
Yaga's
of
still a
early
bit of a
morning
scaler,
drink.
but has the potential. It's the same shift up, whereas Baba Yaga's maybe not the pressure pick. It's still a bit of a middle ground between Kronos and something that could just jam pressure down the lane.
Here's
which
that
is
3-2.
facilitating Johnny to do a
Let
little
me
bit
check it.
more
I'll message you on Discord.
Haven't seen too many rotations.
Let me check right now.
So Dardes and Zero's both farming up freely and both stacking, but only one of them gets stacks for free. Zero's to finish up that Book of Thoth much sooner. I am concerned. If the only Warriors can't start limiting Zero soon, this guy is very apt to go towards Warlock Staff in next slot, Charon's Coin after,
All
and
the
just
stacks, baby.
really stack up.
Definitely 60 stacks already on that Book of Thoth. You can see it's 40 ahead.
Oh,
now
my nose,
of
dude.
the Agony in the mid lane. No surprises with how that house works on the passive. But all the
Damn,
while,
so how many
X-Man
emails
trying
do
to
I
find
get?
windows on this right-hand side. Big hook from Neil, though. Will get the beads out after the damage from Dardes, who's causing most of the issues there. Zero's going to have to just hold his positioning back a little bit further now.
And it's not as if he's playing Chronos, so Rewind not exactly available. Home Sweet Home, a pretty decent self-peel tool. The knock-up at melee range, the HP shield will make it difficult to make use of those burnt beads, but definitely a much more realizable goal than actually killing a Chronos.
Nika trying to defend his Scorpion.
I put it in
side,
Discord,
the left
Shinto.
hand side, the scroll fight continues. And at the moment, Chrome just going to clear out the wave and keep the pressure rolling there. And that forces the Warriors to surrender control of the scroll area.
So Hex Mambo maintain pressure
Yeah.
on
Johnny
the
with the
left.
tower, but he will get away with it.
Damn.
Johnny ganks again.
Achilles kind of squishy with the golden blade, huh?
We've seen Mercury answers before in the past. I think it was Barracuda that essentially coined the "I'll ward between the towers because you're going to camp me."
That's
anyway."
crazy because Nika
That
got
could
ahead with the
prevent
blue
some of these
invades.
tumbles for Nika, but difficult to find.
Got the same flight? Let's go, Shinto, let's go, baby! Yo, does your mom drink? Let's fucking go.
Am I mistaken?
The blue, sorry, the red appearance.
Yo.
Tricksack though
Right.
under pressure, and now has to use the look in the waters. Landfall
he's
will
stuck.
prevent the escape, and that's the
Yikes.
worst situation. Neil didn't drop the landfall wall, and sometimes people underestimate just how impactful that can be. Neil though, too busy milking to help out against Echrome there. His vote took a ton of damage for free. No further rotation coming in, however, after that invade.
Finding a pick on a Tricksang, of course, valuable. It's something to
That's
slow
great
him
minds,
down,
man.
get
Think
Neil
alike.
back in a more even state, but Hex Mambo still nursing a massive lead, and the issue is arising in the soul lane. Nika's going to need some
Yeah.
help very shortly. Hex Mambo have got phenomenal burn potential. We're about 40 seconds away from Pyromancer's spawn.
Should we start off with a
Deathwalker's
beer
about
and
to
a
rotate
shot?
towards it. He's got the passive to make it a bit quicker. You've got an
Or
auto
straight
attack
up mixed
jungler that's
drinks,
already finished up his
cocktails.
rage, and you've got pretty decent burn potential from Zeros as well. This could be one where Hex Mambo looks for Pyromancer very early, especially if they keep up the presence in solo.
Yeah, I can
if
see
Nika
that.
falls,
You hate beer?
I mean, that's
Okay.
it. That's Pyro.
I think
Go.
the scarier thing to deal with the Amaterasu is the proxy farm. The invade of the
All
jungle
right.
system that
There
we're
it
seeing
is.
now.
All right, I'll do a beer and a shot, and then I'll keep doing shots after that.
It's going to cause a problem.
That'll be the play.
On that right-hand side of the map. There's not a whole ton Nika can do if he's that far behind. All he can do is try and clear some of those camps himself, which in tow could put Cubo further behind.
That's not where you want Cuvo Fred to be. We're very close to some significant power spikes for Cuvo Fred. Once he finishes up that heavy mace, you'll have
Again?
pretty decent burn potential.
Sonic
Nice
Boom
shot!
connects again, throws him back into Deathwalker. Silence connects, good stun from Nika. Tries to buy
Oh
time.
my god, Nika's getting farmed,
The option
bro.
didn't even go through, and that is a
Nika
tier 1
cannot
set
finish his
on the
Berserker
right-hand side.
shield, man.
Meanwhile, though, Warriors making
This is a good-
very
this is a good
call
response here.
to
Good-
commit to the Fury straight after.
He's straight, yeah, he's getting camped.
The ability to burn those objectives, that veil, just really make short work of them. So
That's a
therefore,
good tweet,
take
Haddix.
the Gold Fury, the classic ranked call. 2 in my lane, do something somewhere else, and they do. The only Warriors make them pay.
Uh-oh, Vote in trouble here against Ikram. Ikram going to take the trade. Doesn't find a very good ultimate himself, though. But the chase is still on with Trix Tank following up. So is Neilmar. What can Neil do to prevent his Vote from dying? Vote trying to live as long as he can, but Trix will secure.
Yeah, Ikram mad nervous on those autos, bro.
Cubo went back up as Trix Tank pulled another tower for a second. Small mistakes by both there. Vote very aggressive.
Yeah, you saw how nervous he was on those autos?
Ikram, bit surprised by it, I want to say, because his ultimate wasn't.
Also, he should have held his ult until the
Still
Cupid
finds
dashed.
Yeah, just a couple of lucky crits there. I mean, it was crit diff between Vote and Ikram. They both have the same percentage, but it seemed like Ikram had more.
It's not really crit diff, it's kind of like Kernano's
The
diff,
1v1.
you know?
Vote tries to step back up to pick up the heart, maybe not realizing how close by Trix Tank was. Once he's in that lurking the water range, that's the end of your life. There's no escape without that dash, no matter what Neilmar does.
And right hand side, you can see Deathwalker trying to continue the aggression on this right hand side now, knowing the tower's
Oh
down.
yeah, Nika didn't get the
As there's a
blue.
2-level lead, there's not a whole ton
Did he?
Nika can do. Without a tower
didn't
as
get
well,
it.
makes
Oof.
even more problematic if we see one more gank from Johnny. But
You already know Nika's raging,
should
bro.
we see Johnny look to other lanes at this point now? Has he done the damage that was needed to be done to Nika, or does he need to do some more?
I'm thinking
So Mambo's basically like former EU SPL players that didn't want to move.
Being chased through the jungle
TX
once
go.
more. And this is exactly what you're going to see out this.
And so they just kind of do the minor league.
given to him. Neil's going to be careful here.
The only person on their team that has not been in the SPL is their ADC and their jungler. But their jungler is like the best player in Europe right now.
Harpies and continue extending this
And their
goal, which
ADC is a
just
top tier
over
player as well.
3,000.
Yeah, Johnny, I think you're done in the soul lane. You can go ahead and
Bro, the
rotate out,
Warriors
put some
always
pressure over
choke
towards
when it
Vote.
matters, bro. I don't
Throw a bit more
understand. I don't
randomization,
understand.
Parity between the two hunters. And ultimate.
I mean, the game's not over yet. The game's not over yet.
Heavily in favor of Hex Mambo. But there's not much
Times
to
on
fight over
Valks.
on map
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Hex
But that
Mambo
year
heavily
didn't even
played
count. He played from
slow
fucking
and
Serbia
playable.
with like
There's nothing
200
to fight
ping.
over
Like it
Wi-Fi
didn't even
against Hex
count. I
Mambo's
feel like.
Greedo. And for now, we're just waiting on Gold Fury or Pyromancer to spawn back up. You could still leverage pressure around Deathwalker.
That year
likely
just the Valks didn't
walk
exist.
into these back cams. Amaterasu, very survivable with the CC.
No one scrimmed that team ever.
Because
no one wanted to play on ping.
You've never won a Worlds when I wasn't subbed to you, and you've never lost one where I've been subbed. Let's keep the streak going.
Appreciate you, Chisel. Thank you, man.
Cubo needs to make up for it somewhere else. He's just desperately searching for
I
farm
don't.
in his own
I think
jungle.
Johnny's been offered
Johnny
spots. He just
Johnny might find
didn't
Cubo
want to
in the
move.
jungle here as well. Johnny with a 3-level lead over Cubo Fred, who's only level 11.
A lot of these people that
Relic.
seem really
Two
cracked
secondary relics. Neil might have needed one in mid there.
in Europe, they just don't want to
Gets the
move.
pluck from Trix Tank. Cubo gonna
Or
rotate
can't
in
move,
here
or
and
whatever.
try and keep Mambo honest for a moment or two.
Arnold
Right-hand
Dito,
side,
thank you
we've
so
got
much.
Deathwalker once again looking to take out Nika's blue buff.
And Nika can
If
pepper
you
some
lose this
damage
year,
in.
revenge, Chisel.
They can't out-confirm. Deathwalker grabs it, but there's a lot nearby.
But I still think he's out.
He's
got ultimate
out. He's so
available still
fast.
As the chase
Good
is on
lord.
from Warriors. They won't find Deathwalker, who's now level 15.
Him and Johnny are just gonna
This is
hyperfarm, bro.
the
That's a
issue
deadly
that the
combo.
Warriors have to deal with. Last time,
Why did we
though,
lose more
saw
so we
the
could play right
ganks
now?
earlier.
So
There was a
that's what I'm
couple of
saying.
things
This would have been the best practice.
to really look at on this left-hand side.
No, if anything, the only reason Hex Mambo is looking to fight for now is stacking up the rage for Johnny. That's maybe the most significant thing you could gain on map, barring a couple of buff invades, but right side buffs holistically belong to Deathwalker.
Good old
Maybe
Doug.
a vote?
Doug
Grab
knows
him?
what's
Your average salary there is $600. Damn, that's kind of dumb then.
Essentially, Vote. Gonna check on the scroll. Johnny.
He
and
could have
Nika
played for a
showcase on
year.
it. They have a ward on it.
I guess he did kind of play for a year though without moving.
Trade goes in
But he got paid.
Johnny gets caught by the minions there, I want to say, as he came back in the jungle, so pressure relieved, but at the same time, it did give the window for Ikram to secure the scroll.
Very narrowly escapes with his life there, Vote did. If Johnny gets the angle, that's at least the beads, potentially even more off of the Cupids. So great stuff from Vote to be able to escape that situation. Very sticky. but Hex Mambo still take a small win. Scepter, certainly valuable at this point. Give you over a little bit of additional HP 5, some AoE damage.
Good pluck onto Neilmar. Neilmar leaps away back to his tower range. Cubo Fred, though, has found a window for some farm.
That's true, Haddock,
Still
yeah.
red buff of the Hex Mambo on the left-hand side.
You're right.
Johnny, annoyed by that situation, is going to try and
Can't get
commit.
the wall!
Cubo can't get in the wall in time, and Johnny gets credit for the kill, but at least he got
Wow.
red buff.
I think you just got into that damage threshold a bit too early. A crit from Johnny and stacks up once more on that rage. Cubo
Mambo.
Fred, this is the desperate play
They're
that the
impressive.
junglers are forced into. When
Yeah.
you've been deprived of your own, you got to find that farm somewhere. He does get the red, but not a value. Spent 20 seconds to grayscale. Thinking about some of his mistakes as Hex
Holy
Mambo.
fuck, it's hot.
We're going to use that Gold Fury respawn.
Always
Damn,
so
Pringles,
you're
bring
gonna
the
see
heat.
The army of Mambos just walking over towards his Sonic Fury. Zeros is here first, but now Dardes and Neilmar appear from the mid lane. Vote from the dual lane is on his way, but it's going to be too little too late to contest as Mambo get that Fury.
I don't understand how this team, the Warriors, can be so
This
inconsistent.
could convert to a pyro next.
Sometimes they look like one of the best teams
Start
ever,
to pour down.
and then other times they look like this.
Greater Scorpion, just priming up the map on his own. And well, Nika can walk over and poke him. It's going to be exactly like the blue buff.
That's a really good
His
point,
steal
Haddix.
potential.
Yeah.
Not the case.
That's a
this
smart
time.
point.
Deathwalker able to grab it once more and pull the Pyromancer. You can't slow him down. He's
Nope.
doing whatever he wants.
Credit where it's due as well, though. This was Johnny continuing to keep the pressure rolling on
Agreed.
Nika. That has just opened this window of like, well, we control the right-hand side of the map, and there is nothing that Warriors can do about it at this stage.
No, it's got to be elsewhere, but we're starting to get into desperate territory.
Already.
7,000-ish gold. The composition from Hex
Well,
Mambo
Commerce Point
again
seems like it
does
tilted
feel
easily.
incredibly
Yeah, but they
well in
got
the late game.
Neilmar's
Zero's
shot
been allowed
calling.
to free farm for 16.5 minutes, so Book of Thoth and Warlock staff both completed in stacks before he's even seen any action. Triple goose egg for the mid laner of Hex Mambo. You might not like it, but that's what
I'll say the question really is going to come back to, and I think a lot of fans may feel the same way, of what was the cleaner pick for? Where was it supposed to focus? What was the ideology of why we were picking this here?
I gotta think it really was about the objective play. Kleena is so good at running down.
Bro, I brought up 2
running down
waters.
from
I knew I was
the
going to
state.
suffer
She
eating these
generates
Pringles.
the threat of, hey, we can just sneak it, and you need to be aware of where I am.
Yeah.
But the even state wasn't there. It
Right.
was early ganks from Johnny that put the entirety of the right-hand side.
My Pringles down.
Spends the entire time just trying to catch up in farm. Wasn't able
Are you
to
good with
actually move
heat?
in towards the objective.
Neil's going to be careful here. Level 17 on this Mercury is just going to cause a ton of damage.
I'm pretty
Neil will
bad with
escape
it.
Back to the tier 1 tower in mid lane.
Of Hafu, yeah. Like for me,
Pyro
I like it, but I
down,
can't handle
Mambo
it
are just kind of on the
that
line
well.
with
Like
this.
a jalapeno is really hot for me.
Kind of down this right hand side, and so they're getting deeper and deeper. Happy to go on adventures and maybe even take a trade with Nico.
Or like for instance, like if you get like spicy, not like Doritos, that's like too spicy for me. Or like where I would sweat.
Away the blue buff once more. Hex Mambo DPS pretty ridiculous right now. Deathwalker and Johnny together could do Fire Giant. Just the two of them.
That's true.
I mean, it wouldn't be easy.
That's awesome,
But if you
Blackbeard.
find a
It's
pick
doable.
onto Nika, it's
We're all
doable,
chilling.
and the only Warriors need to play aware of that. Any individual pick now, where that
Dead one, yeah.
could result
I'm
in
like,
large
the more
defensive
I have
falling down.
hot food,
Only
the more I
Warriors
can
is all about
tolerate it.
pacing
But I'm
it
still
out,
waiting
finding some
to
farm.
cross over to the next
Picks
threshold.
Really could help, but who's going to be the progenitor of it?
Yeah, my
It's
nose
just
runs, yeah,
Neilmar
Dylan.
Really with the hard CC. Otherwise,
Oxy, man, thank you
a
for the 4
stun
months.
Range from Dardes is only going to be followed up by Dardes. Cubo Fred only has damage in the kit. Doesn't really facilitate the rest of his team, and damage junglers from behind are bad. That's the issue we had seen from Kamazot's way back when.
Mm-hmm.
You fall behind and you're not one-shotting anymore. What's the point? Kleena, essentially in the same spot.
Really? You didn't get
Great
anything
deal,
good
though.
from the
Hex Mambo
marquee?
have good control of
Dang.
the game in terms of, I don't want to see them group up for team fights. Because if they do that, I think that gives Warriors a bit of a window back in this if a fight goes well. They can just keep splitting them out the way they are doing.
I want to get
And
one because
allow
I
Johnny
have to
just
do a
roam
quest
around,
in there.
Find the picks and then open a window for more farm, more stolen buffs. Sonic
Close.
Boom. Didn't connect there with Vote, who just walks away after the dash.
The ones on reserve are awful too. I have 2 marquees for reserve and they're
Cooldown,
trash.
But can Warriors use that information?
Was
to their
that Walker's
advantage?
drip?
I don't know.
Just
I mean,
memeing.
try and catch Johnny
thought it would
in the
be funny.
jungle, I suppose, but he still has beads. I mean, the only advantage the Oni Warriors get from Sonic Boom being down is, hey, we're not going to get
Dress for the Oni funeral.
From Mambo. Oh,
That was a good one.
already.
That's a really good one.
But Vote on the way back to the base. Should be able to get there soon. The Oni Warriors
That was
have to slow it
quality.
down. You can't leave it to a coin toss. You have to get in there and stop Mambo.
Well, Neil's going to try
Get
and
in there,
beat
stop
that
him.
with Nika, but it's not going to be an option for them. Neil now zoned out by Zeros' house. And then the all-in engage onto Neil's there. He won't be able to leap over the wall, but he will.
You see how Johnny backstepped the stun, bro? This guy's fucking talented.
Too powerful
Jesus.
for Maui to survive, and now it's on.
If only loses, they're out. No, they go to the
Zombie
loser
is
bracket
ahead.
finals.
Johnny on Mercury, one of his signature picks, has got the rage stacked up now, and there's a sprint to facilitate him. So he's got haste auto attacks, chasing low HP targets and lifesteal. There's no answer to the Mercury. It's got to be a triple bomb situation.
I don't want to play these guys at Worlds, no cap.
Distance as well, because if really
Are Leviathan's out of Worlds? No, we auto-qualified. We play next week.
Do, they keep the map split. They've got right hand side death.
Also the Scarabs, they look alright.
Mid.
But they play like every other. They play like a minor league team, in my opinion. Just like pressure and invading one buff over and over and over again.
It's not enough to kill him though, but it will be a TKO as he falls back to
They
base.
do that well though.
Mambo rotates to the right, and it's poor old Niku again. Will this be 0-4
Oh.
is the question. Trick's going to look for the pluck if he can, but he's got to watch the rotation around the back from Dardes.
Damn, that's some Agni value right there.
But Dardes has to be careful of Johnny, who was waiting there with a Sonic Boom too. Mambo now take the tier 2 on the right-hand side and can look towards the speed buff next.
Man, Oni Warriors are just getting corralled on the map. They can't line up a defense. Hex Mambo spreading them thin and separating.
Bro, look at the gold difference right now. Jesus, they're out farming them so hard, man.
Survives by the skin of his teeth.
This Ama Merc is deadly.
Watch the item purchase tab. I mean,
Honestly, it's actually really good.
For just about everyone.
But I gotta say, Nika going Golden Blade did not help them. Because it's the reason why he died on the first gank. I think he wanted to try to match the farming of Ama. I'm guessing that's why.
Hex Mambo could regroup and push down both towers. You called for a split push. I tend to agree.
I don't think it matters much, Cairo. I chose proper.
Generally, in a situation like this, it's 4-1. Have Johnny act as solo agent.
Oh yeah.
It could be anybody. Deathwalker has enough threat in his build.
It's just whatever you want.
That he could do it on his own, or even E-Chrome to a certain extent could do it on his own. The Oni Warriors, they don't win any 1v1s right now. It's all about finding farm, and there's none to be had.
Well,
yeah, no, it's really good.
Today, Oni Warriors versus Hex Mambo. Winner of this best of 5 is going to the World Championships next week in Texas. The loser of this set is not eliminated. They have a match against the Scarabs.
Yeah, he saw that starter kind of early.
Based on how he's going alone here, it could be Oni.
Oh, you actually read that shit, Cairo?
Out tomorrow for that final spot.
I want to play Tarkov after this is done.
With Mambo going there.
Hex Mambo in a good position now to start really priming the path. Good ultimate from the Cupid, catches 2.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Feels a love too. Deathwalker a little bit awkward going through that middle lane.
He's okay though, because they're so behind. They don't need to force the Phoenix. Hex Mama, they don't need to force this Phoenix. They're 17k gold ahead. All they gotta do is bag, get this next fire, and then they can, you know, they'll get it so easily. They don't need to do it right now. They don't. They can just chill.
Take over than a Phoenix Siege.
No, and no lifesteal in the build.
These guys aren't even close to 20.
He's got a house too, though.
On the Warriors.
It's gonna help out a little bit, slowly, and it is slow. Zero's resustain back now to about 80%.
He called you a rat?
I think you could still push, regroup.
He mad.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think you really need to wait too much, but
maybe
they play clinical. They play slow. They're not going to let the Oni Warriors get a free one.
I want to say some of that is definitely down to Zero's like, my beads are down. I'm at half health.
Done.
I am not fighting. If you guys fight and lose, I will shout and scream.
Mama, when you think they take the set? I think so, yeah.
You know, in a worse situation than we currently are, which is great at the moment because the lead is continuing to grow. 17,000 gold in 23 minutes. An actual clinic from Mambo. What do you change if you're Warriors next game?
Mambo number 5.
Honest, we're already turning our attention there right now.
I can see if Mambo win this, I can see them making the semis of Worlds, bro.
With Johnny, because again, it is Johnny who separates the entirety of the map. The bleed came from solo. That's where it starts entirely.
I don't know. This is crazy.
I'm not really
think so.
blaming Nico. I'm just saying, like, you know.
I mean, you could put Nico on like a Jormungandr or a Jingshan or a Sun Wukong and just have him stand there and say, hey, I'll survive the 2v1.
But I'm not going to be as influential.
But I'm not going to be influential, and it will be a
qualify for Worlds, yeah. They beat the Warriors to qualify.
I think it's got to be jungle presence. Cuvo Fred, if he doesn't want to match what Johnny's doing in the solo, has to do something in duo or in mid or around the objective because allowing it to just happen.
Take the Mercury away, ban it, pick it. No.
I mean, Cuvo can play Mercury.
Yeah.
I don't think that you want Cuvo on the Mercury. It's not one of his like #1 picks.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like how Warriors are playing through, but we've
he didn't step down, he got kicked.
On it through the years.
100%.
So now What do we do?
Mambo
if
fought the
you
Titans?
Do
No.
you defend the FG? Well, at the moment, it's 3 of them on the left-hand side.
Dragons
just
number
scrambling
3.
for farm, and I'll be honest, Death
We're
Walkers
number
over
2,
there, I
and
don't think the 3 of them could
Kings are
if
number
they
1.
wanted to. The rest of the Mambos are now over on the right-hand side, looking for their second FG of the game. And this is really a tale of can they catch Deathwalker, because Q is going to look for it for
That's
a second.
cute, Chisel.
Those teammates aren't interested, and the klaxon sounds of the FG falling, and it's back to Phoenix defense we go.
That has got to be one of the most disheartening damage checks I've ever seen. Hugo Fred throws out the flickering visions, didn't see the HP bar move, and then a full 3-stack disengage. If this game were even halfway remotely even, that's a free pick. Deathwalker is so far out of position on his own. But because of his lead, because of the itemization, I think you're right. Not only could they not kill him,
This is an insane lead,
I
bro.
think you could potentially kill one, I agree. Now we see the split from Mambo again. Trebuchet on the left-hand side.
I like this split.
Being led down by Deathwalker. Johnny in the middle area, happy to swing to the right-hand side if required. Trixan going to lead his carries on the right-hand side. And just wait, be patient, allow Deathwalker to get to that left-hand Phoenix and find out who turns up. It's going to be Cubo Fred that does, but he's losing this trade so far. Aegis and Sonic Boom used by Johnny.
Oh, what a play call.
Who falls. Deathwalker tanked
That was a cool play call, wow.
Phoenix, and now it's a 4v5.
What a well-executed siege. That is beautiful from Deathwalker and Johnny.
That's really
together.
smart.
Hugo Fred can't be predicting that, and there's no counter.
And they got this
Force
Phoenix too.
Sheesh!
These boys are cracked.
That Nika could have rotated through and turned it around, but
Oh my
it just
god.
happens way too quick. Left side, Phoenix falls, and Mambo.
What's the biggest deficit in the tournament you ended up winning? I've won from like 17k down, I think, against the Radiants.
Deathwalker in there again. The regen coming through.
I won from 3 Phoenixes down, Titan 10% HP, 17k gold down, won that game.
A shutdown as we do get a second kill of the game there. Nikig finds one, but
They
now
can
it's
end
a
here.
vote up against 4 members of Mambo. We're going to a game 4 match point with Mambo just 1 game away from.
Let's see if these guys can defend. Ah, holy shit. These guys are doing so much damage.
Quickly, and it's a concise battle through and through. Keep it interesting with some damage, but the Titan will not survive. Not for a moment longer. It is just all soul lane pressure. Deathwalker with a 4-level lead will control the map. Johnny given a 4-level lead will control the
But I said this earlier, but the fact that the SEC teams are doing so well, it legitimizes the minor league.
For now, it's
Might be quite a few good teams in the minor league that maybe don't want to move, but they still have a shot at Worlds or other tournaments.
Yeah, I think so as
Which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, especially if the Oni Warriors grabbed Ama here. That'd be a really strong start to this game. Just because, you know, you take away the Mercury. I think Johnny's able to pull off what he just did in that last game. The same style of way if Deathwalker has the freedom he does. It's not going to be the call, though. They want that Cernos, which does, of course, leave that Ama open.
The Valks will have to qualify again, yeah.
Can't wait to
they will
see
be
you in
going through
action.
relegations. Yeah.
It's just the Mercury isn't the
Hey,
priority.
thank you, Radu.
Right? They don't pick it top 3. They're picking it towards the bottom. Johnny will play whatever he wants. I think that his god pool is so diverse. It's really just that safety that Deathwalker has that they're trying to play through. They want to camp Nika, and they want to force him onto something.
Oh,
campable.
shit.
In this case, he's got plenty of options.
Shoot.
I'd be trying to grab Nika, maybe the Guan Yu. He doesn't have a great matchup into the Ama, but it is a lot safer than the picks of past. Of course, the
Pele into Ymir?
He had a fantastic
Interesting.
damage performance, but the fact that he was 4 levels behind just means it's so difficult for him to get anything rolling.
1-0-3 for Deathwalker on the Amaterasu in Game 3. Looked good, followed up on a lot of the pressure that Johnny brought to that side of the map. Will not be a solo lane pick, we assume, for the Warriors.
I'll open voting, sure.
Oh, man.
Pele Maui alongside CERN. Now, this shows you
Here,
that,
guys, you got 5 minutes.
you know, Johnny really wanted this pick in the sense that I think the Oni Warriors probably would have banned Hebo. They already banned out Mercury, but so Hebo probably would have taken a ban in the second wave here. And that'll open it up. And caused a lot of issues earlier on when we saw this Hebo. Oni Warriors didn't quite have an answer for it. Just drafting it earlier on here, Trelly. Is there still enough available? I mean, you have a mid laner still to go and a solo laner still to go for the Oni Warriors. Are you changing your mind on some of those picks now with the Hebo on the other side?
I mean, whatever they're
All in on Mambo?
Nika has to be something that's diving this Hebo because you're not really
Pretty much know
winning the
Yamoja?
one
Yeah.
versus Ama. She kind of just runs around and farms. That's the way Deathwalker plays Smite. He wants to be 2 levels ahead of you by the time you even realize what's going on. I'm thinking you're drafting to help your team. And in this case, who's been hard carrying these games away? Who's been doing all the damage and getting credit for all the kills? That's been Johnny on this Hebo. So Nika needs to go something that's got good dive. Again, the Guan Yu could be the play. They haven't first picked it in a while. I don't think that it has the greatest time laning against Ama, but I don't think you can really comfortably draft for lane matchups when you know you're going to be getting ganked by the Hebo as is. You got to pick something that can, number one, live that gank, and number two, dive the Hebo again. So I still think the Guan could be an option, and Mambo are smart. They're banning out these burst mages with range, something that can stop Hebo from closing that gap. The Scylla and the Agni, they do that quite well.
Maui was Neil's pick. In game 3, 0-2-2 game. We've seen some Atlas games from Neil here as well. So I don't feel strongly one way or another about the Neil Maui. I do think it has some good potential, but have not seen it just yet. Lost in the final game of the set against the Jade Dragons at Phase 3 playoffs, and then again just now to Hex Mambo. Do you like, Cuvo Fred? I think it's something the casters talked about during the game itself. I think giving something to Cuvo that he can find a bit more consistent pressure on is going to be very important. Had a good KDA on Pele in Game 2 of this set, 3-1-3. That did not convert into a win. One on Najan has just been banned out ever since. Hex Mambo learned their lesson. On that one, Mage is banned out across the board, so the flexibility of both Zeros and Dardes going to come into question here. There is a Chronos available.
They didn't ban it.
They did not ban it.
They banned a Merlin that he hasn't even
did
played
ban
in this
the Merlin. Unconcerned about the Chronos, I guess.
You know what would be interesting? I mean, it doesn't have a great matchup into Pele, and I doubt when Worlds is on the line, Zeros goes to the Nuwa, but that is a pick that he's liked a lot in the SEC. I figured that's what was going to happen. I mean,
Hebo popped, bro.
Like, hey, I'll get poly shots.
The Hebo Chronos.
For you guys to take the towers.
Baby.
Johnny's going to do the damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe.
What ADC is this guy going to pick?
I'm zooming in too much on the damage numbers that the mid is doing, and not enough on the structure damage numbers that Zeros has been doing. Because honestly, I think the last siege of Game 3 was a great example, where Johnny ults under a Phoenix with Deathwalker. They deal with it and they get it done.
Right.
And in the meantime, Zeros is in mid, farming up the Phoenix. Then does fight after the fact, gets the double kill there. But the initial wave is Johnny and Deathwalker most of the time. And
Chronos OP. I don't know how they would do that.
Chronos, a few times this weekend, it's found some wins.
That's Rama. Yeah, Rama's been the go-to.
It
seems like
a bit of flexibility. Don't need to win this one, just need to win one out of the next two. Unfortunately for the Oni Warriors, a bit of a tighter leash. They've got to win 2 straight. Now, not out of
Grimheim got bopped. Yeah, I did.
If you don't win this set, but you'll go on to play Solar Scarabs tomorrow.
Wow, that's what I was thinking too. I was just thinking in my
head.
Jing
Chen solo, interesting.
Nika's repertoire that can survive.
I'm here, Crimson. I don't know what you mean by Crimson, but hello.
I had to make sure I pronounced it as well as possible. That survives the Hebo gank, but doesn't let Ama free farm, and Xing Chen fills that perfectly. And
why were we talking about X-Ball for Dardes recently?
That was me. Well, yeah, I brought up Benny's tweet about how.
Oh, that's what it was. I was like, what? Yeah. Why did I think about that?
X-Ball mid. Oh, they're going to double Hunter.
Right?
They're going double Hunter, bro.
There, but
they're interchangeable, but Dardes has.
When all else fails, double Hunter
Guardian,
Warriors.
Double Hunter plus Pele.
Classic.
Tried and true composition for the Oni Warriors, Charlie. One that has found plenty of wins throughout Season 9.
Certainly has. And if Johnny's looking,
I'm not sure if double Hunter works into the Hebo jungle.
Not where you're going to find those cringe ganks. He has 2 leaps to try and juke your water spout and crushing wave. He's got the CC immunity in his ult that is channeled. It takes a while. He's not going to be getting hit by that dazzling offensive. It's still possible. You can force those ganks, but I'm thinking that does mean Johnny has to look elsewhere to find the damage.
Warriors win this game?
And
Definitely,
you got 2 hunters to deal with. Late game, the Oni Warriors probably feeling pretty confident about this one if they can immune that crushing wave or stay away from it.
Yeah, look, I think this Oni Warriors team has had.
They didn't look too happy to fist bump each other, bro. That's for sure.
With one another, we have seen some long, contentious 5-game sets.
That's X-Ball. X-Ball's mid. Seems
in tournaments of past.
No way, so
Game 4, a must-win Game 4. No stranger to this Oni Warriors team or any of the players.
Like they'd work.
Yeah. No?
We'll find out.
Okay, all right.
And so you guys at home, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching along on Smite Game or on YouTube too, or if you're watching on Hazer's channel or Warcheese channel, or all the other people that are currently restreaming. I think Zap is restreaming it too.
Are you calling
However,
out all our content thieves?
if none of them are actually listening to our comms live, don't listen to them because they suck. That's my safety net, you see.
Okay.
You know? Got it. Into game we go. Forget. You see.
Nobody's safe.
No, never. I've got a lot of, it's saved up. It's pent up aggression that I've not had for a while,
Yeah, we got to get you at least one cast a year or every 4 months to vent the toxicity, I suppose.
And Hindu's my boy, bro. Me and Hindu go back 10 years.
If I'm being truthful, give me a game 4 where we get a close game, Myth, because
give me a close game.
Darn it. It's been a ridiculous one side of the fair, either one way or the other, with the seesaw battle. This
You just
time,
said I was
Neil and Trix are going to trade
restreaming
out
it.
caps. Trix is going to get the purple of the Oni Warriors, and Neil Ma is not going to get the purple unless Echrome does something crazy. He's holding time.
Neil got it.
Maybe reset it next time, Just wait. You already won. Trixtank already got the purple. Echrome didn't need to risk it.
Yeah, strangest tale of a size, but he's all even. For one, the difference is Trix has a purple and Neil didn't pick it up.
Echrome
But Neil also
trolling,
got the
bro.
smalls.
That's a
So
big play
even
for Neil.
smaller win for Trixtank.
See what you did there. But
That's a
pressure
big
was
play.
actually in favor of Vote and Neil in that dual lane for the time being. And straight away, Johnny's in the solo lane once more. Neil Mark will go back and pick up the purple as the pressure starts to roll through on the duo side. Cubo Fred, meanwhile, Johnny in
This
the
Kern
right-hand
might
side.
snowball,
We saw
bro.
him do this in the Hebo in game 2.
There's one guy you don't want to
Just
get
focuses
behind,
attention
and
to
that's
pick up the farm
Kurnitos.
with Deathwalker
Don't
early
want
on.
to get behind that
Yeah, I
guy.
suppose if you're concerned about the 2v2 in mid, and you should be, if your mid laner is Kronos and the enemy has a Hunter and Pele, playing around Deathwalker is certainly safe, but it does leave a lot of neutral farm on the table for the Oni Warriors. Both mid camps should likely go their way if they play around it. Just fight wherever Johnny decides to show up at, and you are favoring the Oni Warriors at this phase of the game. But when I think of double Hunter compositions, Hindu, I think late game scalers, right? That's
Sure.
Let's just get to late. One of you is going to build crit, the other one's going to build shred, and you're both going to benefit. When I think of late game scalers, though, Kronos Hubwa, I'm thinking that's pretty difficult to beat.
Matt.
So the Oni Warriors
Can't believe you wish that on
likely
me.
have the onus to play through the early.
Interesting. Because of the Kurnitos being a little bit earlier game focused?
The Kern's a little bit earlier. The Shiba's certainly better in the early than Kronos is, but how does the late game combo look for Hex?
I have no idea, TX. Go.
It's Water Spout, Water Cannon. I don't care if you hit crit autos. You can't do it while you're airborne. And maybe some poly procs as well. I think that Hubwa as an assassin
in the beginning of the map.
in that role just has a really good matchup in a Hunters.
That's fair. I mean, one thing about the Jibalonke that people don't talk enough about, in my opinion, is how much comms clutter it can do with the Darkest of Nights. Johnny under pressure, actually. The up-down caused a
Oh,
bit
wow, I
more
thought he was
advantage,
dead for
but
sure.
luckily enough, the minion wave just turned up in time there. But all the while, left-hand side, you can see Dardes and Neilmar combining to roll the pressure onto that red buff and look for a cheeky steal onto the purple. Won't be confirmed this time because Trixtank had the Hand of the Gods available.
Yeah, so even just getting the hand.
All right, they're stabilizing. They're stabilizing. They're stabilizing the
you don't
dual
want the
lane.
support to have the luxury of heading back to base and be able to sell it. A little bit of gold back in pocket always helps out getting that Gauntlet of Thebes stacked up early. Look at the difference between Neil and Trixtank, though. Meditation in the relic slot. Very likely we see both
I'm
of
not
these
bringing my
upgraded
dogs
very
for us.
early
No
on,
way.
but Cloak of the Ascetic can just really change up the team fights. It's not all about the heal, it's about the cooldown reduction. Just giving over so many additional abilities in some of these small
Machine
skirmishes.
dog, hat
Really
dog,
excited to
true.
see how this one pans out, though, because I'm looking for the Warriors to step up
boys
and
are
get
rabid
the game
animals.
by the scruff of the neck a little bit more. And Cubo Fred on the Pele is someone that can definitely do that in the early stages of the game. We saw it earlier on in this set between the two. Trixtank going to find a freeze on Neil. Echrome not only the follow-up damage,
Trix
but
is in
aggressive,
trouble
but Trix
here.
Pulling back in again.
Never
Good
mind.
poke, not enough
Vote didn't have his
force him
two.
out of lane. Trix will use the meditation, however, to just top himself back up and keep the pressure rolling.
Yeah, Sentinel's gift as well should be able to help him with that resustain, so long as he's not the one last hitting. Won't be.
I
last
wish
hitting
my
if you get
support
back in
goes
phase. Echrome
Sentinel's
is gonna go
Embrace.
solo farm here.
A man can only dream.
I suppose fine. Trixtank not really in a position where he's desperate to tick over to level 5. Shards of Ice, for the most part, just a little bit of additional damage or just some CC immunity in the kit. Dardes, though, should be concerned. Luckily for him, Johnny no blink, so not a whole lot of risk here, but Water Spout, Crushing Wave, could just do it.
Yeah, just going to be respectful of the range and at least use your range to your advantage as Dardes. Obviously, the Darkest of Nights mentioned earlier, but it does give that range advantage in those fights too. And people really underestimate just how in range they can be of those abilities. And against a Hebo that's looking for that Water Spout, he's going to be able to trade out some damage there and maybe cause some problems. This time round, though, Hex Mambo on scene for the red buff early, and Neilmar still trying to contest. Will landfall it into his clutches, but he won't be able to secure it on his own. Still trying to clear it, but patience from Mambo really to find time to secure it and get the free off from Trix Tank.
Neil's doing a good job of being annoying though.
Neilmar is willing to break his own arm to get into that red buff. Trading out the ultimate, you lose a lot of your ability to initiate fights.
Dang, Fred got that.
Because he's got the level lead still. The risk of stealing it would have been slowing down the Chronos. I like the idea, but it feels like burning Chronos' beads with someone else nearby could have been just as valuable, if not more so. An opportunistic play from Neilmar, a bit overzealous, I think, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, and nothing lost this time.
Well, Kiva Fred just on the right-hand side strip away the blue buff from Hex Mambo's jungle and from that Amaterasu. And that's just going to put Johnny a little bit further behind, or at least trying to keep him honest for now. He's working on that Book of Tough and has completed it, but needs those stacks as well. Kiva Fred's gank potential, realistically, we're looking mid, we're looking duo here. Solo doesn't feel like it's a really good endeavor with a Jing 10 as your matchup in lane. It's going to be very hard to find a kill there.
It would be pretty difficult. Jing Chen can force the dazzling offensive every time. Might make it a bit easier for Kiva Fred to close gap, but otherwise, I just really got to think fighting a Hebo in the early game, just find him in the jungle. That feels great. Zeros as well, a pretty decent target. We've seen Ymir's really struggle up against these very mobile assassins, so if Kiva Fred can find him, maybe pathing through the jungle, that's one way in. Unfortunately, Heimdall is the safest hunter. Just has so many ways to deal CC immunity on the dash, Valorhorn to immune the knockup, and then just a global teleport with the Bifrost. Means that Kiva Fred probably won't be headed that way. So it's got to be any of those other two targets.
Neil heading back to his own half of the map after staying aggressive on the left-hand
I feel like the Warriors have been playing so aggressive, but really have nothing to show for it for the most part.
But a ward will give him some vision, some path back to the red buff.
Fred is a level up.
Is the option to get those left-hand harpies and keep the pressure rolling in the mid lane. No surprises to see no kills at the moment. I'm expecting Mambo to just farm for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no reason for them to do anything else. They have just got
9 out of 10 players are EU, so true.
And one that they have got a ton of experience playing throughout the regular phase.
My concern
pressure's there.
That was game one, right? And in game one, it didn't go well for them in that situation.
But that's because there was so much pressure for the Oni Warriors, and they're starting to build some up now, but look at the farm. Hex Mambo's not suffering. They're even slightly ahead.
Well, left-hand side, purple buff invade with 3 tricks from there on defense as Dardes gets left 1v1 in mid lane.
Oh, he missed the one!
Survive at the tail end of this. Johnny going to commit and find the kill, but he'll trade his life in doing so. Good worthwhile, no.
Well, you got first blood.
Yeah. That's rough.
Worthwhile, I think. Maybe not necessary. That whiffed water cannon, that really cost him. Had he just been a bit slower on it, use the water carpet first, probably gets in range without having to trade out, but once you're there, you have to
Damn, that's a big whiff. That's you might not think it's a big play, but it's a big play.
Counter gank you regardless. So I like the idea of Johnny saying, "I'll trade out. Worst case, I get first blood, and it's returned to Dardes."
Yeah,
and he gets exactly that.
I mean, the trade out is Kivo gets a lead.
But he lost a lot of farming time. Kivo's stealing backs, all that. Like it's really bad.
Discrepancies you see there. Nika though did a pretty good job in the
Fred just farming everything. Now he still has his whole jungle to farm.
A little bit of support with Kivo Fred in the early game.
That's why it's not good.
Has allowed him to not be focused as much. And then I guess with Johnny splitting the wave too, it's where that lead is developed.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we talked about at the tail end of that game. If you don't want Kivo Fred helping out Nika, and you're worried that Johnny's going to do to him what he did with Deathwalker in the previous match, put him on one of these safest gods in the game. Jing Chan's about as safe as it gets. Double leap, CC immunity, HP 5, very difficult to poke out.
But still very useful in team fights, unlike some of the other names of gods you suggested.
Agreed. Yeah. That ability to just go in and burn beads and be a massive disruption factor should help out the Oni Warriors, given the opportunity to rotate out. But so far, every game this set, even the one the Oni Warriors had won, was essentially dictated before Soul Laners were allowed to rotate out. It's those first couple rotations and neutral objectives that I'm really keeping my eye on.
Check's got these number duel, so he probably just values it more.
Dardes in the mid lane has Devour's Gauntlets online. Looks like he's going in for some penetration up next, or maybe a chins. So he might just be going for the full brute.
That Hebo's hitting hard, bro. Once he finishes the book stacks, sheesh. He's owning the squishies.
If you both go crit, Spectral Armor just ruins your entire day. So having one go down the other tree could even be Executioner, so that both Cuvo, Fred, and Vote benefit from that penetration. Could be the way in. Kin size in first slot certainly fine as well, so you can't really go wrong.
Deathwalk is in a world of hurt. And
Dang.
help his minions too.
Yeah, body block. That was a sick play.
Turnaround is fair play, says Cuvo and Nika towards Hex Mambo solo laner. As the left-hand side of the map now, you can see Johnny trying to find some action, but Neilmar is around and delaying backs and also making sure that Vote is relatively safe in his lane.
Yeah, now Deathwalker with teleport should be able to get back to lane pretty easily.
So good game 4 right now. Good game 4. Very interesting.
Greater Scorpion invade, force a fight around the Chronos, who is incredibly weak at this point. Pretty decent.
Good job giving it up.
So it's just free farm over to the Oni Warriors. This could be a game that falls into a similar pace to game 1.
Fight in the duo lane between the two. A great bees exchange from Vote, and Echrome will escape immediately using the Bifrost back to safety. But Relic used from Vote, both ultimates exchanged. Small win for Echrome, although Echrome may have to base a little bit earlier than that of Vote.
Yeah, needs to get out of there. Another reason Heimdall is so difficult to gank, though, and why he might be willing to stick around right now, is that when you have that first ability out, you have massive vision. You can see into the jungle, essentially, so you don't need to worry about rotations. And with Vote already using all of his resources, it's pretty unlikely.
Echrome is very good with Heim, yeah.
The 1v1, so long as he
a lot of people don't play the gods, so I don't really know who's good at it.
Just zone him out, but Devourer's Gauntlet's already done its work, and Echrome healthy again.
Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, you can see Cuvo just continuing to roll the pressure through. We saw this happen earlier. When they got the kill on the solo lane earlier, it's really unfortunate. It was just pre-10 minutes. If it was a few seconds later, that Pyromancer was available, as we saw the action here. Neil, once again, bit of a dangerous territory here. He is on the Maui, though, with plenty of escapability, but he's taking a lot of free poke damage, causing a lot of attention for himself. Has to watch that health bar a little bit more.
And you see that combo there, the freeze and a water spout. Knockups are the only form of CC in Smite that cannot be DR'd. So if the CC starts with Trix Tank, you just have to eat the entire duration of it every single time, so long as Johnny is the follow-up. That's scary
stuff. Yeah, Deathwalker didn't get his
already.
blue.
Neilma, it's seeing a lot of damage. Johnny's already starting to get a good deal of itemization behind him. Hasn't finished up the Book of Thoth just yet, but Divine Ruin getting its value.
I will say the one thing we're not seeing Johnny do in this Hebo, this game that we did in the last time he played this in the series, was look towards these purple invades consistently. If anything, it's been the Warriors that have been a bit more aggressive on this left-hand side of the map. Neilmar looking at the red buff invades, the purple soon after. Johnny's not found the farm that he wants.
Neil's so behind.
In the previous set.
I don't. He just
think as well about the
rotates a lot and doesn't split any XP.
You look at the gold lead, you're thinking to yourself, look, Zeros is scaling incredibly hard. Johnny's scaling really hard. We're really worried about that. The gold lead hasn't extended so much. We've invaded a ton, but haven't quite been able to find that foothold.
See that world? Hell no.
The wall in a best-of-5 series could tend to lead to mistakes. If the Oni Warriors get nervous now and start just grouping up and forcing Gold Fury fights without entirely thinking them through, Hex Mambo certainly an adept team at finding that punch back. So I like to see this. The Oni Warriors still keeping their head above water, keeping it calm, not really forcing these unneeded risks.
Yeah, I will say with the amount of damage dealers they've got on this left-hand side of the map here, either side could very quickly take down a Fury at this stage of the game. So both the supports, both the teams just need to keep good vision around this Gold Fury, because it will be moments with it going down, especially Jabalonke.
Fortune Powerfront, I can't be behind, yeah.
A little bit more poignant than that of Chronos and the Heimdall in the early game, I want to say. But purple buff spawning, red buff spawning for the Warriors right now, as Nika is just trying to protect his Trebuchet and keep the pressure rolling on the solo lane.
We're going to hit an inflection point very shortly. I'd say it's around 4th item where Zeros is going to have equivalent value, if not greater.
I'm putting in work.
So for now, the Oni Warriors, if they fight around mid, should have the advantage. Instead, it's rotations towards solo once more. Surprised that Johnny is willing to look towards that blue buff so consistently. It's pretty difficult to invade against these two.
Yeah, a bit of a damage check coming out there.
Look at Deathwalker fighting for that totem, bro. Our solo laner would never.
Damage check, how we doing?
Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
Here, that Pythax piece does have a bit of health on it, so it will keep him topped up a little bit. But it's more for me the sustain that you're going to get from that item, not just for you, but for your teammates as well.
Yeah, the Aura lifesteal for everybody nearby, as well as just the HP 5 in kit. He's feeling pretty decent about it. And with Breastplate of Valor in 2nd slot, not only is it just more CDR, but by synergy of passive, so long as Nika is applying damage to anything, be it a minion, a camp, a buff, or an enemy god, he keeps his passive stacked up, keeps sustaining as well. So I like how he's really built out. But build can't help you if you're not at the fight. The Pyromancer it's needing some help.
And it's going to be going down relatively soon. Just Johnny and Zero's on a Deathwalker zoning
Yeah,
away,
they are happy. They have Chronos Hebo, Ama, late game.
Small mistake from Warriors to allow it to slip.
Yeah, just weren't quite ready for it. Maybe it was on the back. Nika had just TP back to lane. Hex Mambo take every small opportunity, and they run with it. Now, Gold Fury, the only POI on the map. Only Warriors nearby could pull it out, but Vote's so low, there's no way they stick around for this fight.
No, the moment Vote will just clear the wave out, resustain the seasons more than likely. He's still working towards his next.
It's hard DW bit describe the power, yeah.
Same can be said for Echrome at the moment.
So admirable to see such intelligence.
Vegas already online at level 14, and the executioner is now complete. Small power spike, then maybe they can look to play around.
Yeah, it could be. If you can catch out Vote on his back, that'd be phenomenal.
Oh,
Instead, it's Gold Fury. It's fast.
The Warriors and Trix can only really watch, look for a cheeky sort of steal if he can. Instead, the wall for an attempted reset won't happen. So Pyro to Mambo, Gold Fury to Warriors.
These are perfectly okay trades. I feel like
just on the wrong side
this Hebo's scaling, bro. I don't know.
Their own blue buff there. So the only Warriors.
Oh, we saw that Ymir base, I think, and I think Echrome needs to know he's got Neilmar now rotating into the lane. Has the Bifrost pulled out of the Bifrost for the time being. Echrome trying to get back to it, and the damage is
That's
solid.
the beads, unfortunately.
Not kill yet, but Echrome not out of danger. Landfall is available for Maui if he wants to go for it.
Dodges
The ultimate use, followed by the damage from the Wild Hunt, but just he blinks on scene,
Oh my
destroys
fucking
Vote,
god,
and
bro.
forces Neil to his tier 1 tower. Just a little delay from the Warriors there. They could have found the kill, and now they're
Oh my god. How the fuck did Dardes get through there?
Bit of peel option available for him though, with just that knock-up coming through from Cuvo Fred, but a huge pick for Johnny on the left-hand side.
So much respect for Echrome for standing his ground there as well. So easy to fall in the trapping of, I need to escape. This is a bad situation. I've already used my relics.
He's got no relics. Well, he does have his relics. He's only the shell at this stage at the moment. We'll leap over the wall, try and bite him. Oh, the head fake! But he went back over anyway, and now he's trapped in the
Bye.
What can the
Bye. That is a big play, bro. Holy.
Greedy on this right-hand side. Does have his ultimate available. Needs to be careful because actually he's going to rotate between.
Smart Deathwalker.
Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower back.
Look at these baits.
He might need some help, but this could be actually turn into a bait because the rest of the Mambo are on the way. But Trix, rather than get more aggressive, plays the peel option and allows his solo.
Jeez, Mambo just playing better,
so
smarter,
Cuvo Fred was
everything.
That he was going to turn around that corner. Volcanic Lightning to close gap, hits air, has to blink forward, loses not only his ultimate.
Game's still very close though, but Mambo definitely are making better plays.
Mental damage as well. That's what Amaterasu does really. It's just mental damage of not being able to kill it.
And mental damage is a legitimate conversation that Hex Mambo have been having since Game 0. We got the pre-game interview, and they wouldn't be quiet about it. And now it's starting to stack up. This is a team.
Yeah, Johnny really ahead.
Considered one of the favorites in this tournament.
He doesn't have a build that can kill this Xing Chen, I feel like.
On game or set point, rather. Tough stuff. Only Warriors need to see something go in.
So winner of this best of 5 goes on to Worlds, and this
is going to come down who kills the front line faster.
Watching on, discussing.
I don't know though.
Do they select the Kings, who won the tournament, have the best option for themselves here of who they want to choose first? I don't know if it's the Mambo right.
Bro, Echrome's so manly. Oh, he needs to get the hell out there.
We're even talking about it.
Chrome might be in trouble here. It could be Neil getting baited again because Johnny's around the corner and Neil getting aggressive, looking for the pick on Chrome. Watch out for Johnny. Both sides. Vote will feel it though as Johnny hits the back of his head. The darkest of nights will buy time. Johnny
the same bait, bro.
One spout should be enough. All the while, Neil is
the same bait, bro. Look at Vote. He's just like, oh my fucking god.
The biggest mistake there for the Warriors.
It's just such a safe pick. Heimdall is so difficult to shut down, but the Oni Warriors keep jamming their head into that wall. Now it's Cuvo Fred got out.
Well, he's got no life, so he's got no health.
Oh, if he did that carpet a little bit better on the angle there, he had it.
Continue this push going, taking tier 1. All the while, Nico once again just uses his ult on cooldown to secure this blue.
Oh, he reset the
That's
9 HP. Okay, you got it.
Instead, Hex Mambo though now on a tier 2.
Yo, T-Dad. Hey man, thanks for the resub.
No response available from the Warriors at the moment. Zero's now versus Dardes in mid in a 1v1.
No way.
Yo, they keep baiting. He has blink, I think.
Speed buff still in tow. Has to watch out for Cuvo. Didn't know Cuvo
Oh,
was
what a
there.
knock up.
Maybe Johnny dies for that unless Zeros can help him.
Turn around. down.
But it's not enough
That's
to
it?
persuade him. Blinking it from
Oh
Nika,
my God.
Zeros gets killed
They're
on
getting
thread.
so
Johnny
shit
Zapman
on,
is like,
bro.
Just an absolutely miserable series of events for the
They're
Only Warriors.
just getting
Every time they are
outplayed,
tantalizingly close to
out-rotated,
securing one of
out
these kills.
everything.
It's Johnny. In left,
there.
in mid. He's everywhere on the map. He is doing so
These
much
guys are
on
baiting the
this
fights because
thing.
Johnny's
Very
rotating
jungle.
every
level
time.
19. We mentioned it in the previous game. 19 minutes in. And realistically, it's only been the last couple of minutes where he's just rotated around the map and found kills for his team. But my oh my, were they impactful. They've just swung this game now once again for any Warriors to be on the back foot. No towers in the left-hand lane for Vote. Look at him, he's having to back where his tier 2 tower would be because he can't step forward without any vision.
And with Gold Fury spawning up, it's generally that left side that you start to retreat towards, nothing to run back to. If Hex Mambo decide to start the
Dude,
fight
we're going to
around the
see
Fury.
Scarabs versus Warriors, though. Are you serious?
Don't call it this early. We don't know. Double Hunter draft.
I
They're
told
scaling.
you it was 5 games.
Okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
doing that
Building
bit,
intrigue,
you know?
building
I'm building
intrigue.
that bit, you know?
Understood.
Come on.
You really
Tenure.
wrote this one up then, because I'm
Tenure.
getting convinced.
I mean, they're
I
just
have
playing
seen some
smarter. They're
terrible
baiting the
throws
Warriors
by
into these
Mike's
bad
man
fights.
on Smite. Some terrible throws. This isn't up there yet as a terrible throw if they were to throw, because it's only a 4K differential between the two. But maybe it does get that way.
I mean,
The Oni
9,000
Warriors fans are
experience?
definitely hoping for that, that's for sure.
9,000 experience, nearly 5,000 gold. Hex Mambo, they're in a really good spot. It's all impact experience at that. We just now hit our first 20.
And the gank attempt on Walker happens again. The ultimate once again used. Great ult from Neil though, but
Wow.
a great wall from Trix to prevent the follow-up damage.
Sheesh.
Death Walker survives, limps back away. All the while Mambo exploit the option of the rotation right by taking a tier 1
Right
tower
now, the
mid.
Warriors
Look at where Johnny
can't get
and Chrome are
desperate,
going
bro.
right now,
Like,
already
okay,
to
they're
the
5K
Chrome
down.
has just been whistling down in his own. Also,
Let's relax and
level
think
19.
about it.
Not much that anybody on the Oni Warriors can do about this one. They've got the sound cue. They realize there's at least one on the Gold Fury as of now. Maybe a rotation towards Pyromancer to catch.
I'm not gonna
Hex
lie though,
Mambo
I
on
feel
the
like
reset.
that Hex Mambo have a better
Just
late
not
game,
the
so I
cards.
think they're
It's a
fucked.
full reset across the board. Hex Mambo away.
If I was doing some
Another
thinking right now,
victory on
I'd be
map.
like, yeah, we're fucked.
Desync these
If I was the
neutrals. Hex
Warriors.
Mambo, regroup, pull a Pyro. I said it in game
Hey,
2,
the
I
only
said it in
game plan
three.
is
Any
to
fight
kill
that
this
happens,
Hebo.
It just favors Mambo
This
now.
Pyro could be important though. Trix
Xing Chen blink.
Seen a fight here.
Maybe get a
And
Magi's
here,
and Xing Chen and try to blink on the
Warriors
Hebo,
back
get some
in this
actives,
game.
and then
Warriors
Fred
don't
go
play
in. I don't know.
safe, worried about the
I think they're
aggression of
fucked.
Mambo. They don't know on the map that 3 members of them weren't even in the area to contest that and take down the Pyromancer. Warriors just trying to find the scraps of farm where they can, and Nika could be the next one to feel the brunt of Mambo as 4 members head to the right-hand side.
E-Chrome's on this side. When ADCs
FG
rotate
pull.
to fire, it's simple. That's an indication. Fire Giant. And it's going quick.
It is, but Neil's on scene, so is Nika. Nika blinks in early, looks for his ultimate to force some beads and
Nice.
does so. Landfall
They can
falls in,
keep
but Mambo
fighting.
Get the Fire
They're
Giant.
healthy.
Trix Tank not really under too much pressure just yet as a good
Fred
old
is
man.
dead.
Deathwalker will stop Cubo. Fred get into the back line. Freeze connects onto Vote, forcing his beads defensively, but Vote versus Zeros is still going on. All the while, Johnny is just chasing people down. They find Dardes. Nika should be soon to fall. Maybe minions get that one.
Bro, this
Cubo
Hebo's
like a minion.
unstoppable.
It'll be to
Can our
Hebo.
jungler play
8
Hebo?
to 2. FG on 5 members of the Hex Mambo. And if you're a Warriors fan right now, you might be wanting to set your alarm clock for the set against Scarabs tomorrow.
Mid Phoenix should fall down here. No.
Yo, they can try to end,
Back
bro.
into this
They
one.
can try to
It's
end
too
here.
healthy from Hex Mambo. Burn the Fire
They
Giant
can try to
fast.
end.
The only Warriors decide.
Can they end?
Look, we can't let it happen.
Okay, okay.
I don't
They're
think
playing
they
safe.
end.
Yeah,
They
okay.
I
Dude,
saw that
woo!
on their faces instead.
Woo!
Taking a bit of a
I was
safe
thinking
move,
about
a
it.
slightly dangerous option with a backdoor attempt from the left-hand Phoenix. Deathwalker will take a ton of damage. Not enough just yet to kill him. Who's going to get the aggro after the fight?
Vote's got to be
Still
tilted, bro. He got baited twice by
not
Neil
yet.
coming
Left-hand
over.
Phoenix now down at 23 minutes in this game.
Man, Neilma is wet paper as well. He steps up, takes 1 water cannon, and said, well, maybe I'm not a tank. Maybe,
maybe I'm not
maybe I
tanking
should have
him.
bought some magic defense a little bit earlier. I mean, this is long shot odds, Hindu. If there's a game 5 in the cards, as you so say, I would love to see how we get there. The hero's journey would have to happen twice.
Okay, well, we all start rooting for Warriors now then, because, you know, if they go off script here, Mambo are not playing next year. I'm just going to say it.
They better win this Worlds, huh?
They better, because, yeah, I mean, they're ruining the script right now. We're supposed to go to a game 5. I mean, Mambo should still go to Worlds, right? But we're going to take it to a game 5 first of all.
Okay, okay.
Goodness gracious.
Well, now it's a simple path for Hex Mambo. Only one line, really, for them to work through, and it's through that right-hand side. Tier 1 and Tier 2, a foregone conclusion. Oni Warriors will not step up to those. There's absolutely no reason to do it. Fighting inside your Phoenix, not easy, but necessary, I think. But in that entire time that Hex Mambo can reset, start to work their way across the map, the relic landscape graveyard that Hex Mambo
Zero ping Mamba div. Facts, bro.
Will have time to regenerate about half a minute on about all of them for Hex Mambo, whereas the Oni Warriors, some of those relics already starting to come back up, largely in sync, but the team with a lead just benefits more.
Again, another clinical performance from Mambo. I say that in one breath, but then I'm like, well, if we look back at how this game went, Warriors had a lot of small windows to find victory, but every time they tried, Johnny was there again, and Johnny is stepping up. Darkest of Nights used by Dardes as Kivo tried to jump into the backside there and cause some problems. Now he's going to get zoned away. Still has a bit of immunity available to him as Deathwalker now going to push them back with his ultimate too. And the pulling onto Zeros is good. The rewind will come through.
Nice.
Still taking up the Phoenix. No damage.
Holy shit.
Chrome and Zero start to whittle down the Phoenix health bar to its final moment of death. And where do Mambo go now? Fire Giant still for another minute. Do they go in an end with that base coming through from Deathwalker? That could be a teleport in. Keep an eye on the man in a suit coming back into the fray. Doesn't have his ultimate available, but maybe the one to tank up this time.
He's trying to pull the Titan.
Very low, but resustains
good wall.
He's going
to die so quick. There's no chance for the Warriors to defend.
Holy
They're out.
shit.
They're going back into play with Scarabs tomorrow.
They're not out.
And